Citizen?
Huh? Well, what else
You
are
would
they going to
deport
do?
a U.S. citizen?
Do you believe that they should go into adoption?
Why do you support Donald Trump?
Start by you do Second Amendment policy and immigration policy, close borders, and hold on. Let me move. I got some people in here. Hold up. Sorry.
Okay, you're good. Second Amendment, immigration. What else?
You want to start off those two?
Yeah, we can start off with those. I would say that
Perfect.
Donald Trump, he undermines the Constitution like as a whole. So I do think it's hard to say that he establishes like a basis for like the Second Amendment or protecting your constitutionally protected rights. I don't think there's really a good established plan for that or basis for that.
So what
And even so,
I
there are
can.
specific attacks against the Second Amendment I could point to as well.
Yep. So I wouldn't say that the policy that he implies over Second Amendment, but the fact that if I was to vote for Kamala, I'm scared that I'd be losing
Kamala.
my. Sorry.
You could just say Harris as well.
Harris, yeah, different parts of the country here. Sorry, Canadian accent. But I mean, what do you? I want to hear what you mean by the Trump's policy on guns.
Yeah, so he specifically wanted to take away trans Americans' access to guns. He's explicitly advocated for red flag laws, where he said he wants to take people's guns first and then do due process second.
Yep.
Go ahead.
So, yep, yeah. Come on. I mean, and we also had Harris talk about just completely in the banning of in general of firearms, and I can talk about how that wouldn't be possible, absent from the Second Amendment.
No,
Do you want
I
me to
think what she
elaborate?
advocated for was the assault weapons ban that existed between 1994 and 2004 that just was sunsetted, that it wasn't continued.
She has publicly stated. I can find the article that where she has talked about, and it was actually before she even ran in office, about how she wants to completely eliminate firearms in general.
Okay. And she doesn't want to completely eliminate firearms in general. She's a firearm owner herself.
Should I pull it up for you? What do you think? Do you think we should?
Get rid of. We can't. It's not constitutional to get rid of all guns.
Oh well, you can amend the Constitution.
I don't think we'd be able to amend the Constitution to do that. I just don't see that as realistic.
Okay.
But would I want to live in a society where no guns existed if that was possible? Sure. I don't know if that's possible then.
Okay. So yeah, we're on the same point here. I mean that'd be up. That's also an argument with the founding fathers of was that right or wrong to apply the Second Amendment in a world that was in the
The Second
country
Amendment only really applies to like pistols.
It doesn't.
Like it only protects pistoals, really. It doesn't
No, it
protect.
doesn't.
It doesn't protect much beyond that. That's what the Supreme Court has indicated.
So what do you think we should keep gun laws how they are currently?
I think there should be more gun control regulations to save lives.
In what way?
I'm actually fine with the red flag laws that Donald Trump proposed in that context. I'm actually someone who supports universal background checks. I think we need to get rid of the loopholes that there are with like gun shows and whatnot.
Okay.
I actually agree with the assault weapons ban that we had between 1994 and 2004. There's a few things.
So are you aware on what ghost guns are?
I'm familiar. Yes, isn't it
Okay.
like black market type guns?
Not necessarily. Okay, yeah. Technically, if you were to buy them off the black market, they're considered a ghost gun. But like, you can go and spend $3,000 on equipment and build guns at your house. It's very simple, very easy to do.
You're saying like 3D printed guns. Oh, sorry, that's true.
Yes. Yes.
So, you're saying like, oh, people will be able to get access to guns through illegal means, right?
Yes,
Regardless
so
of whether or not
if-
we
yes.
have this basis. Okay.
So if
what's
we
your
were,
point? Couldn't
my
you
po-
also regulate that?
No, because you can buy all
Why
this
not?
equipment. You can buy all the equipment you use. You buy.
You don't think
other
we should have any regulations on ghost guns?
I think we should. Yes, 100%. I don't think
Okay.
they should be legal, and they aren't. They aren't legal. What I'm saying though is I would be scared I don't obviously you don't believe in it, but I would be scared in the fact of banning guns completely. That is taking guns out of the hands of good people and putting them in the hands of
But that's
bad
not what I haven't advocated for, though.
yeah, exactly. I know. That's why I'm not trying to pivot though. That's what I was saying. I agree. I appreciate that you are obviously educated enough to understand that's not possible.
Okay, so I'm
we agree
confused.
on
I
that.
just don't think that Democrats are going to take away all your guns.
Okay, well, I mean, and I don't want that to happen either. There has been, and there is Democrats who do advocate for that.
Who?
Here, give me 1 second. You want politicians, you mean, or just Democrats in general? Because I can find 1,000
Yeah,
ticks.
I would like to see politicians.
Okay.
Okay. In the meantime, if you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. Give them a second to find this information real quick. I don't think we do, Marianne. Sorry.
High capacity assault weapons.
Yeah, you specifically said people who advocated to get rid of all guns.
Okay. I should have elaborated and said non-politicians and Democrats in general, but there's always new Democrats that are running.
So you can't mention any specific Democrat in Congress or in power that is advocating to get rid of all guns. So then why is that the reason why you're using to argue against Democrats?
I will give you names of people that have wanted to ban on assault weapons. I do believe we should still. I can give
you people on the right who are like not right, and is that reflective of Republicans as a whole?
Not at all. No.
Okay, so then like I don't see how like you could say this is going to be reflective of the country, even so, right? Or reflective of the Democratic Party as a criticism as to why you wouldn't support like a Democratic candidate. Does that not make sense?
I'm not trying to say that. Apologize. I'm very new to debating. I'm trying to get better. So apologize on that part. I should elaborate it better. Do you want me to elaborate on closed borders and deportations that I am very for?
Sure. I guess you could try to do that.
Okay, so I'm a huge supporter in deportations of all illegal immigrants in the whole, in mass. Send every single illegal back to the country that they're from. Do you think that is right?
Even
wrong?
children?
Yes. Born in the U.S. No. I kind of disagree with Trump quite a bit on that, because I believe he was saying he wants to. I don't know if he did change the law.
He does want to undermine the 14th Amendment. Yeah.
Yes. I do disagree with that. I believe if you are born in America,
isn't that a pretty big disagreement?
Sorry,
so to clarify, you would say that they should be citizens. Would you deport their parent?
Yes. No. If I would send them back with their parents, because
you would deport a U.S. citizen?
Huh? Well, what else?
You would deport a U.S. citizen?
Do you believe that they should go into adoption?
Well, I believe that the parent should be given a pathway to citizenship. They haven't committed a violent or serious offense.
I would either say I don't adopt. I don't know if I would rather say adoption or send them back. So I don't think we should. You
would separate them from their parent?
No, I think that. Okay, I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say that we should send them back.
You think you should separate them?
No, I think we should send, even though they are a U.S. citizen, they keep their citizenship, and
it's not legal to deport U.S. citizens.
Okay, I never said it was legal or legal. I'm saying my opinion.
You're okay with violating the law to deport U.S. citizens?
Can I finish talking, Parker? Okay, give me a second to talk, please. I think that if you were born in America, you are not 18, and we deport your parents, you should go with them because you are 18, or because you're under 18, and when you are 18 years old, you are allowed back into this country with papers.
Okay, I think that's still deporting someone who's a citizen. It's still not constitutional. It's not legal to do so. There's literally zero legal basis to do that, right? I would argue that, again, the parent should be given a pathway to citizenship where they don't have to leave the country.
Okay, and that's where we disagree.
Okay, but like what you're saying is not something that's possible to do. Right, from a legal or constitutional basis. So it's also something I think is wrong, definitely morally. I think it's morally wrong to deport U.S. citizens.
Okay, so say we do deport their parents. Then what do we do with the children?
Well, I don't think you should deport the parents.
Okay, I'm asking you from my perspective. What do you think we should do?
I think we should give a pathway to citizenship to the undocumented immigrants who haven't committed a violent or serious offense.
Okay, so like I said, I can't get under that, unfortunately. Why not? Because we cannot have people that are undocumented, do not have any registration of who they are in this country.
If we give them a pathway to citizenship where they don't have to leave the country, that does do that. That gives them
and that's why we take in the most immigrants in the entire world, and we have a process for that. You need to wait in line and wait your turn.
Okay, but I think that the process takes too long, and especially for an individual in this circumstance, I think it's inhumane to deport a U.S. citizen or to separate the families in this scenario. So the most reasonable thing to do in this scenario is just to give a pathway to citizenship to the person who is the parent, right? Like, obviously, right?
So
Like
do
when they
you
don't
think
have to
they
leave the
should cut?
country, that ensures that they're vetted, they identify themselves to authorities, they're going to be logged in the system, and then you don't have to separate the family.
Okay. I mean, that's a very good point, Parker. Can I ask? What was I going to say here? Do you think from a Republican standpoint, do you think it'd be, is it? Do you think we should send the parents back, keep the kids here, put them up for
I
adoption?
think you should agree with me from a Republican standpoint.
I mean,
Like,
that's kind of your goal. That's kind of your goal here,
yeah, like I mean,
obviously.
I don't agree with the Republican standpoint, so you can't get me to say that I'm gonna agree with it.
Yep. And like I said, I'm new to this, so I guess I don't understand when it comes to the children that are or that are U.S. citizens. When it comes to that point, um, I guess I am a little sway, but I am very strong in the fact that if you are an illegal immigrant that broke the law and broke into our country, you need to go back to your country in origin. And if you want to come to our country, you need to wait in line. The reason you said like it takes so long is because that we have so many people,
So you want people to go through the legal process?
100%
So then why
in.
did you just argue that you're totally okay with not going through the legal process and deporting people?
What do you mean?
That's you
Sorry.
literally just argued to violate the law in deporting U.S. citizens, to
No, I'm
violate
not.
the law.
No, I said illegal immigrants. I didn't say. I said illegal immigrants.
Wait. You said the specific the people who are born in the country, who have birthright citizenship. You said you
Yeah,
wanted to
yeah.
deport them and their parents,
I
which
don't
would
know if you
include
heard.
deporting a U.S. citizen.
Yes. I don't know if you heard me. I said I am. When it comes to the children, I am very sway right now. Unfortunately, I'm not strong enough in my argument. But when it comes to just
Okay, how
illegal
about this?
immigrants,
Trump
yeah,
violates due process rights of undocumented immigrants. He's not going through the legal process to do that,
and
to
I
deport
don't
them from the country. So how are you going to
uh,
ask undocumented
because
immigrants to go through said legal process when you're not even asking that of your president?
illegal immigrants don't deserve due process.
Okay, so why? The Constitution establishes that according to the 14th Amendment.
Hold on. I'm just gonna read it word for word from the
Go
Constitution.
ahead.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, that's birthright citizenship. Yes.
Just
Um.
read it off. Annie, thank you so much for the $20. Thank you very much. And Anthony, thank you so much for the
Yeah,
$5. Thank
I
you.
don't want to. I don't want to give you the AI overview. I hate that.
Yeah, make sure to go
Congress
look for
got.
the go to the specific
Yep. Or there you
constitutional
go.
aspect. And
All
thank you so
persons
much for the
born or
$15.
naturalized
Thank
in
you
the
very much.
U.S.
Appreciate it. Thank you. And
U.S.
Chelsea,
states
thank
is
you so much for the ten
subject to
dollars. Thank you.
jurisdiction, therefore are citizens of the United States. Yes, that's talking about. Yeah, it's birth. It's
Okay, if you
birthright
won't read the
citizenship.
whole thing, I'll read the whole thing for you.
Well, there's about 5 paragraphs, sections
Yeah,
1 through
it's
5.
fine. I'll read the whole thing for you.
Can I elaborate real quick before you do that?
Can I just read the whole thing?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, just section 1. That's all we need to read. All persons
Perfect.
born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, property without due process of law, nor to deny any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. So just to clarify real quick, it's specifically referencing people after defining what a citizen is.
Okay.
It's specifically saying people, so it's in reference to undocumented immigrants as well.
Okay, and then I mean, I don't. Illegal immigrants aren't obligated to the rules of our Constitution.
That's what this says. Nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law.
And like I'll say it again, I don't believe illegal immigrants are obligated to our Constitution. The American
No,
Constitution is for
as we
Americans.
uphold the obligation, the Constitution, we are then obligated to grant due process rights to undocumented immigrants because that's what's established in the Constitution.
I don't. I mean, and I'm gonna blame our father. I'm gonna blame our founding fathers for writing it like that because I. Are you laughing? Are you laughing?
Yeah, that's funny to hear from your side. Okay, so you want to amend the Constitution to ensure that undocumented immigrants do not have due process rights. So until you do that, you're violating the Constitution by arguing to do this, right?
And I don't believe that it was written. I believe that it was written for the American people. So that's why they use the word persons, not American citizens.
Okay.
You got to
So
realize. I mean, also, 1776 when this. You got to realize what
yeah, it
was
says persons in reference to anyone in the country, not just citizens.
exactly because we didn't have that established formed in 1776.
It literally defines what a citizen is prior. It literally, like, in it, we read what a citizen was. All persons born and naturalized in the United States and subject to this jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States.
Yeah, and
Okay, it
illegal
defines what a
immigrants
citizen
aren't
is, which
illegal
includes
immigrants.
persons. Okay, but it's not just a person; it's a person who has those other characteristics. Okay, so to clarify, persons, right, are granted due process within the country,
So, do you believe it's
not just
unconstitutional
citizens.
to? So, you believe it's. So, are you? Do you support Obama in everything that he did in his presidency?
I sub I support Obama and Democrats over the Republicans, but I think that I definitely disagree with a lot of the foreign policy decisions and whatnot of the Obama, Biden administration, etc.
Okay. So, both of them, Obama
And
and
also
Biden,
immigration.
because
I also disagree with the Democrats' immigration policy because like
okay,
their position is that they want to criminalize undocumented entry. They want to make the legal process go quicker. My position is that I want to make the I specifically want to provide a pathway to citizenship for undocumented immigrants who have not committed a violent or serious offense, and then make the legal process go quicker as well,
okay. So, I mean,
and go
in a
after those
legal
who have
pro.
committed violent and serious offenses.
Yep. And what I struggle on is understanding what it means to be a Democrat because Obama, he actually deported more illegal immigrants than Trump has, 3 million to be exact. But and then Biden let in 5 to 15 million. We don't know the exact number. We think 5 to 15 million is
No,
what he let in.
there's you're not even close. It was
Wow,
actually
Bartels.
3.5
No.
million person change between Trump's administration and 2023 under Biden. So that's just not the case. Now, if you can find that from Pew Research. Now, if you want to reference Obama, you're referencing 8 years of Obama
Yep.
versus just the second term of Trump within the first year and a half.
And yeah, obviously that kind of goes off the
On a
same
yearly
how.
basis, Trump is
Yep.
deporting more and is
Yep.
violating due process rights to a greater extent.
So that's kind of the same thing on when you talked about, I believe it was 2 nights ago when you said how Trump's name is mentioned more in the Epstein files than Jesus Christ.
That's
He's
true.
mentioned in the Bible.
Yeah, that's true.
It's the same thing. There is way more pages in the Epstein files than there is in the Bible.
Okay, that's true. That's true. And
Okay.
your
I'm
point.
saying that I mean, the argument isn't very solid.
So you're saying that you need to do it by proportions.
Do what? Sorry. Do
That
what by proportions?
you need to look at prevalence by proportions.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay, that's a point. If I was making the
Yep.
comparison on proportions,
Right here. So the center
I
of
was
Michigan.
making in that situation. I was making a nominal comparison.
Okay. I can understand that. Congress.gov, Biden administration has brought over 6.7 million illegal immigrants. From the Center of Migration Studies in New York, saying about 10.9 million undocumented immigrants. So that's two sources right there that have been over 5 million illegal immigrants. Sorry.
Yeah, are those referencing encounters?
Like, sorry, elaborate, please.
Are those referencing encounters, or what is it referencing? Is it
Let me pull
referencing
them up here.
people who have entered the country or the undocumented immigrant population?
No, yes, that is the
Okay, so
illegal
what's the
immigrants
title?
that came in. This is the Center of Migration Studies in New York and Congress.gov.
Which is also, I'm pretty sure that's a right-wing think tank.
Ooh, New York
This is CMS. What's the title though of it?
of the article.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is CMS, correct. Is that a? I mean, that's
tell
a
me the
right
title.
wing. Correcting the record, false or misleading statements on immigration. The assertion is that there are 15 to 20 million undocumented immigrants living in the country now. But the argument I was trying to make are how many came in during Biden's administration.
Let's click on what you're referencing.
And if you want to talk about if the wall is necessary or not, I can talk to that about too here.
Assertion: 15 to 20 million undocumented immigrants live in the country. Misleading statement. Okay, wait, hold up. It says, wait, give me 1 second. Where does it say your claim?
I pulled back up. Estimates 10.9 million undocumented immigrants reside in the U.S. based on Census Bureau of American Community Service.
Yeah, that's
ACS.
total, and that's prior to Trump's presidency, or prior to Biden's presidency, right?
More than 10 million undocumented immigrants have flooded across our border during the Biden administration. Read right below that.
Yeah, it says response. Republican presidential nominee said he would remove 15 to 20 million people And it says, according to estimates from the Center of Migration Studies, New York, 10.9 million undocumented residents reside in the United States based on Census Bureau and American Community Service data. Okay, that's just talking about the total population, sir. Not that came under the Biden administration.
Okay, I'll try and find.
That actually indicates that there wasn't an increase because the population was 10.5 million according to Pew Research. But I mean, I have to see what those estimates claim is
Yeah.
the change, right?
So do you think no illegal immigrants came over during Biden's administration?
I do think that there was. I think Pew Research's numbers are good.
And what's that number?
It was around 3.5 million over the entirety of the Biden administration.
Okay, so I mean, either way, it's we're debating over how many millions, but
Yeah, the
way,
source that you're referencing only goes up to 2022. And
okay,
it just tells you that it went from 10.3 million in 2021 to 10.9 million in 2022, which
okay,
is only an increase by 600 million or 600,000. Sorry.
okay. So either way, we'll go off your number. That 3 million, that's a problem in my eyes. That's a problem, and I do respect your side, how you believe that we should. You don't have a super democratic belief on what we should do, and I can understand that and respect that.
Okay. And so like what's your position? I mean, why do you support Trump because of this? Because Democrats still want to criminalize undocumented entry. They just want to make the legal process go quicker.
I mean, ICE, the banning of ICE. Almost all Democrats hate the deportation of illegal immigrants. They think they all. I'll
Yeah, of
elaborate.
those
Sorry.
that
Let
haven't
me
committed a violent or serious offense, and that's not all. That's not all Democrats. I mean,
exactly.
and
I
also
shouldn't say
you
all.
can
I
agree with
apologize.
internal immigration enforcement and disagree
Yep.
with ICE. You know that, right? ICE is
Yeah.
specifically something that was created after 9/11 that grants the
Yep.
executive significantly more authority about how they conduct internal immigration enforcement. Whereas
So
historically,
I'll.
there was a different basis and agency that dealt with it. So you have to understand that the current process, right, is something that I think utilizes conditions that then yield more abuses of power.
Okay. And I'll elaborate
Aaron,
more.
think of the $5 should never give governmental
It's
power to deprive any person of due processes. Exactly.
it's the stolen land argument that everyone's a welcome in America because it's on stolen land. I can talk about the stolen land argument too,
Okay.
being a part Native American.
Okay. I'm confused how any of this is supposed to entail that no one at all thinks that people who have like committed violent and serious offenses should be able to come into the country. So that's more of used in like a general sense.
Okay, I understand that too. Do you believe that we are on stolen land right now?
Yes, I mean that's objectively true, right?
Okay. So,
It is objectively true. Like that
if you
100
don't mind me asking, what state do you live in?
California.
California. Okay, so I am 15% Native American. So my great grandfather was Native, married a white woman. He was part of the Comanche tribe. The Comanche tribe started in the plains towards Wyoming area, and then eventually, over conquering and every single other tribe in the Midwest, we took, or in the plains, we took over the entire Midwest region. Stole it from every single other tribe, the Rickarraw, the Sioux, the Cheyenne. So who do I give my land back to
Wait,
then?
wait, wait. This could all be true, and this could
Hmm?
still not mean this still doesn't entail that it wasn't stolen,
Yeah, let me finish
right?
speaking,
Like
please.
I'm sorry. Like what?
Yeah, let me finish speaking. Let me finish speaking. So then, who is it stolen from? Who did the white man steal it from?
Yeah, we're just saying we stole it from indigenous Americans, right? That's the notion that
Okay,
specifically
so
European settlers came and stole it from indigenous Americans after literally the mass death of indigenous Americans. And by the way, there were
okay,
targeted specific attacks towards indigenous Americans for hundreds of years that have continued for hundreds of years,
and
continued subjugation of indigenous Americans. So
yep,
I do think that absolutely right. We can acknowledge right that we are on stolen land. Well, also it doesn't mean that everyone has to like give up their house. No one's arguing that. I'm not arguing that. Right, but we can
okay,
we can
so
acknowledge history. Can we do that?
yeah,
No
so what
one's
I'm
saying you have to
saying
give
is,
up your apartment.
I've seen so many. Oh, I've seen
Okay, well I'm
so
not
many.
claiming you have to give up your apartment. I'm not claiming I have to move
Okay,
either.
okay. So that whole argument to me is just bullshit because I believe it's conquered.
Okay,
our
don't act like it's justifiable.
I mean,
Don't act like it's justifiable. That's
this
insane.
This has happened over the whole world for.
That doesn't mean it's just. Is it justifiable just because it's existed historically? Child marriage existed historically throughout literally hundreds of years, thousands of years. Child marriage existed. Does that mean it's justified?
No, that's why.
Okay,
I don't
so
believe
then
it should be.
that's a concession. So just because something has existed historically does not mean it ought to exist. That's a naturalistic fallacy.
And Parker, I never said that. I never.
That's exactly what you were arguing.
I never
right?
said it was okay.
Weren't you? Wait, you were when you're bringing up this notion of conquering, or at least when people do, typically they bring it up specifically as like, oh, they think it's justified or right because of that.
No, I'm just saying that who did we steal it from? Because the Comanche tribe took over it.
Wait, there was a bunch of different groups that specifically the land was stolen from. Now, can you acknowledge that it was stolen? Just because you can point to particular groups that historically also did that doesn't mean it wasn't stolen. For example, right? If someone stole land from us, does like our house or where we live, does that not mean it's stolen just because historically speaking, right, our ancestors stole things?
So
right? Like that would be absurd to believe that things cannot be stolen from us because our ancestors stole things. Like, come on, bro.
I agree. I'm saying it's conquered. It's the same way. Wow.
Do you realize how insane? But do you realize that doesn't mean justified?
Parker, you keep cutting me off.
Wait,
you keep cutting me off.
You have to realize that does not mean it's justified, and stop complaining. Okay, I've been very nice to you. I've let you speak. Don't act like I'm cutting you off repeatedly. I was clarifying something that I was saying before that you weren't responding to.
Okay. So I'll elaborate here. When I mean conquer, so if Russia was to invade tomorrow and win, I believe they won fair and square. It's their land now. They conquered that land. That's why, I remember 2 days ago how you said we need to split our defense budget in half. I extremely disagree with that. Our greatest defense is our defense. No one wants to with the U.S. because we are the greatest and strongest military in the world, and that gives me a sense of safety and love for my country that I know no one will ever be able to.
And we can have that even with half a military budget. Sorry, I did cut you off there.
It's fine. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's true, Parker.
We can. We'd have the largest military budget in the world by over $100 billion a year.
Yeah, but we wouldn't have the same amount of recruits. We don't have the numbers. Even right now, India has a larger army numbers base than us. We get a lot of our soldiers, I call them soldiers, from money. We will give you a good paycheck with a shit ton of benefits if you enlist in the army. And that's any military or any type of branch that we have. So I'm a firm believer in, 1.2 billion or trillion a year to defense. Is that right?
We spend $1 trillion right now. That's insane. That you think that we that we should spend that much. I think that we. By the way, salaries aren't even most of that.
Oh, I know. But if we cut that,
I don't know why you're acting like that's just salaries, bro. Nope, we're giving it to defense contractors so that they can help blow up literally a bunch of countries around the world, right, and destabilize nations all around the world, which inevitably creates more disaster.
And I think we need to pull out of Israel completely. I think Israel. I mean,
Trump's not doing that, is he? Trump went to war on behalf of the state of Israel.
I agree. Hey, Parker, as we're me and you're the same here.
So then, wouldn't that be a reason to stop supporting Trump there?
No. The numbers. Okay, so when I support Trump, I support him more than Kamala.
More than Harris. Okay, why?
For like I said, immigration policy. If you want to talk about, I'll talk about the big beautiful bill here. I am making a lot more money with no tax on overtime. That has been very good for me, and I think I deserve that. If I'm going to work more than 40 hours, I don't believe the government should take half of it.
Okay. The government probably isn't taking half of your overtime. Secondly,
they worked. Oh yes. 40% tax here, North Dakota.
North Dakota, 40%.
Well,
it depends on what your state is. Sorry. I mean, that's if you're making the highest income brackets.
You have no idea how much I make, sir.
Cool for you. Good for you.
I'm not trying to brag, but North Dakota
then
is
you're going to be fine either way. If you had a 4% higher tax rate on your income over $400,000, you'd be fine.
Oh, I'm not in the $400,000 tax bracket.
Okay, then if you're not even there, then you wouldn't even pay more. Kamala Harris and Democrats wanted to maintain all the tax cuts applicable to income earners under $400,000 a year, meaning that no tax on tips and no tax on overtime deductions, those would exist as well, right? They would be continued. right?
Okay.
But the issue is that Donald Trump isn't trying to give tax cuts to the working class people of this country. Donald Trump is trying to give tax breaks to the richest Americans disproportionately. That's what the big beautiful
Okay.
bill does.
So out of the 100 richest people in America, how many voted for Trump?
I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
It's 10.
I can tell you the guy who's now a trillionaire, Elon Musk. Yeah, he
Yep.
used his wealth and his money in order to be able to buy influence for the president of the United States. He
And
used his money to buy
yep.
Twitter to then use that as a basis to then influence tens of millions of people in order to
Yep.
be able to then cause more people to then vote for Donald Trump. Literally,
And
not just tens of millions, hundreds of millions of people.
and that is his First Amendment right. And Harris could have done the same thing.
Harris
Do
could
you
have done the
know?
same thing. So Harris has $1 trillion. Harris has
Uh,
Tesla stock that she can use as collateral in order to be able to buy Twitter.
Excuse
Really?
my language. She has Bill Gates by the balls. I'll tell you that. And
That's
Bill
not
Gates
true.
come on.
And why is Bill Gates glazing Trump in the White House?
Whoa. When did that happen?
He's been doing that. He's literally
Really?
in the White House glazing Trump for better treatment.
Because I mean,
Remember when he was asking like a bunch of big corporations leaders like how much money you investing into America? How much money? And they're like, oh, which number should I say, Trump? Which number should I say, Donald? And he's like, say that number.
Oh, for the
Big number, big money coming to our country like we've never seen before. Okay, and then we've seen real domestic manufacturing investment decline every quarter of Trump's administration so far.
Yeah, and I mean, hey, he's not doing the best job. I'm not going to be one of those shithead megas that can't accept. I can't be one of those. I'm not going to be one of those shithead megas that don't accept when they're wrong. Trump could be doing a lot better. I agree. But I do believe that he was doing a better job than Kamala. And when it comes to that, he's
Kamala, and you could just Harris, and also like that. Tell me that isn't against free speech to have them have people like Elon Musk have so much influence over the election. I think that limits free speech.
I think it is the opposite because he has every right to buy Twitter. It's in his every right to buy Twitter, and everyone has the right to listen to him.
Yeah, but it limits how much you're able to be heard as an individual. Because corporations and big businesses and individuals like that can use their media influence, use that money in order to be able to then cause massive distinctions in how people vote. That's why there needs to be a breakup of these particular ownerships. There can't just be that much control by one individual because Elon just put himself in the algorithm and now hundreds of millions of people are seeing his specific account. Mm-hmm. Okay,
and
he literally makes you follow his account when you download Twitter.
And no one, and it's your right to not download Twitter. You don't have to use Twitter. And that's what kind of what I'm saying here. And when it comes to like Trump,
I often don't. So like, I mean, the point that I'm making though,
I don't use Twitter. I don't use
Twitter.
Yeah,
I know that you don't, but hundreds of millions of impressions were changed because of this.
Yeah, and that's up to the people themselves. It has nothing to do with Elon or Trump. That's up to the people to listen or not. It
obviously does. I think it's a bit dishonest to act like that isn't evidence that like the richest Americans amongst us aren't using their position as one of the richest Americans in order to be able to exploit that condition, to be able to make themselves more money, or to be able to get like certain political things passed to a greater extent than any American would be able to do in typical.
And Parker, 90% of the richest Americans voted for Biden or for Harris.
Where's your number from?
I'll pull it up right now.
Okay. And even so, like, who's he benefiting? He's trying to benefit the richest Americans.
I don't believe that because 90% of them voted for Biden or Harris.
Again, not an argument. The argument's like, what are they doing to benefit the corporations? Because I would say that the Democrats specifically are doing things that are meant to hold individual corporations accountable to the highest extent possible. Now, actually, one thing that you could argue is that inevitably, like when you build up a system where like the middle class can afford things and people are taken care of, inevitably leads to corporations being positively impacted in the long run. So there's an actual argument for that as well. But the basis is specifically that Donald Trump is explicitly trying to help out his rich friends. So he's engaging in market manipulation. He's making billions from the presidency. He's gone from $2.3 billion to $6.5 billion between 2024 and 2026.
But you got to realize how much he lost during his first presidency. How much money did he lose his first presidency? He went from $7 billion to $3 billion, and then still gave away his salary, his president's salary. And that's true. That's true.
So he didn't give up his presidential salary. You can look at his tax returns. He didn't. He actually didn't at all. He also spent
first
over
presidency.
$130 million of taxpayer money on golf trips.
So I'm
And
talking about
also,
the
wait,
first
what did you say?
president.
You said he lost money?
In his first presidency, yes.
Okay, but his second presidency, he's gained almost tripled his net worth.
So here's what I supported Trump in his second presidency because of his first presidency, if that makes sense. That's very logical to say.
So do you support his
And
second presidency so far?
that's a tough question. I would say no, but not as more. I couldn't get over voting for Kamala. I just couldn't do it, man.
Kamala? Okay.
Sorry, I did it again. It's just my accent.
It's okay. You could just say Harris. And again, you say that, but like you're not really providing a reason as to why. Like, what's so bad about Kamala Harris that means you're willing to vote for the guy that's made our economy worse, started a war with Iran,
So
he's tried to undermine our democracy,
what is Harris's greatest accomplishment?
the Inflation Reduction Act, the
That-
largest
that
investment in
was-
renewable energy ever, the $35 cap on insulin for those on Medicare, along with the $2,000 cap on pharmaceuticals out of pocket for Medicare.
Okay, so I am very against. I don't like social programs. I believe every American is entitled to what they earn and what they get. I think I'm very conservative in the fact that everyone should get what they work for. If that makes sense.
Yeah, everyone deserves
don't-
health care. Everyone deserves health insurance. Everyone deserves preventative health care. Right? I think those are fundamental, important rights that every single person deserves. Okay? I think that there needs to be a baseline to certain amenities like this.
That's where me and you disagree.
So, do you think there should be free public roads?
Yes and no.
Do you think we should get rid of Social Security?
No. So I'm not against all social programs. Like I said what I'm against a lot of social programs. I mean, I'll give an example. Out of the Somali immigrants that have came into America, what percentage do you think is on social programs?
I'd like to actually see like evidence that people provide for this. The fact that you're specifically, probably you got your statistics from Twitter there.
I did not. I don't use Twitter.
Right.
I actually got it
Is
from
kind
a
of crazy.
representative of the country.
Where'd you get it from?
Representative Robert. Not Robert. It was Brandon Gill. I apologize.
Yeah,
It's
and I
60%.
promise you, he got it from Twitter. Brandon Gill is so cringe.
I do like Brandon Gill. I do like Brandon Gill a lot
Why?
for what he stands for.
Can you name what's his biggest accomplishment? Like an actual accomplishment.
He has. Well, I'm not from Texas, so you got to realize that representatives are representative for the state, even though he is in U.S. Congress. I would say that he has exposed a lot of what American tax dollars are going to. We sent $3 million to Gaza for transgender research. Do you think that's a good use
I'm
of
asking,
American
like,
tax
what's his
dollars?
biggest accomplishment? Like, what policy did he pass?
I don't think his greatest accomplishment was a policy. I think his greatest accomplishment was exposing where the American tax dollars are going. That a lot of
Okay,
people
so
don't
then,
know
like,
about.
what's the source for that one specific claim?
Um,
And by the way, so you guys like made this whole claim that like Democrats, or not you, but Republicans
You
in general
guys.
made this claim that Democrats, right, only had an issue with the Trump and they didn't actually know how to define themselves with who they are themselves. But it seems like now you're defining someone that you love that's Republican based upon who he's going against rather than what he's done himself.
And like I said, I can give you reasons on my state senators, but he is a Texas representative, not a North
Okay, but you
Dakota
just said you
representative.
really like him.
And I do for what he has done in Congress. He has exposed a
Yeah,
lot
but
of
you
what
couldn't tell
American
me you couldn't tell me any policy he's passed. You couldn't tell me his biggest accomplishment. All you could tell me is that he's exposed something. And we'll see if he did. He exposed what? What funding?
Well, one example was I could be wrong. I think it was $3 million sent to Gaza for transgender research.
Nope, not true. Where do you see that?
Like I said, I was probably wrong.
Okay, so yeah, that's there's not even a claim for that on the internet.
Hold on.
Okay, well, in the meantime, we'll give him a second to find that information. If you're on YouTube, again, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. I do have Carolyn. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the $50 on PayPal. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Have a fantastic weekend yourself. Thank you so much, Carolyn. I appreciate the $50. Thank you so much. Get some W's for them in the comment section right now. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Mara, I mean, I would just say, like, You don't have to consider what they have to say. If that would be effective or something that you'd want to do, you can also do that as well. It depends on whatever you would want to do.
So 50, according to Craig Goldman, congressman out of the Texas 13th congressional district, we have
You said
$50
what?
million. Craig Goldman, the Texas representative in the 12th district. Okay. Oh, sorry. $50 million in Medicaid fraud, $50 million in payments to alleged fraudulent overbilling by Medicare insurance. U.S. Government Accounting Office found $43.6 billion in improper payments, including overpayments, inaccurate record keeping, or fraud in the federal
So
pandemic.
all he did was report on this person committed fraud.
$22 million illegal
So wait, hold up. So all you can mention for what he did was that he reported on someone committing fraud. Do you know the biggest Medicare fraud scam
This is
or Medicaid fraud scam? Do you know who did that?
Who?
It was a Republican.
Republican.
So I mean,
Here, Parker, but here's what I'm saying. I'm not defending Republicans, and I'm saying this is the fraud that happened under the Biden administration.
okay, but what did the Biden administration do to cause that? Okay, because there's fraud that happens right now under the Trump administration.
Like?
We can reference fraudsters that have been pardoned by Trump, such as Todd and Julie Chrisley. We can talk about a bunch of different fraudsters. We can point to explicitly how on specific Republican states have more fraud. We can look at Florida. Florida has a higher per capita rate of fraud than both Minnesota and California.
Yep. So here's why I am a huge advocate for Robert Fishback. You know Robert Fishback?
Oh my God, that guy. You mean James Fishback?
Yeah. Sorry.
So you don't even know his name, and also,
No,
what's his biggest accomplishment?
Well, he hasn't got elected yet.
So he's never done anything. What are his qualifications?
Okay. Give me 1 second. Pulling out Israel completely.
No, what are his qualifications?
To run for mayor?
Do you even know what he's running for? He's running for governor, dude. Dude, you're a big fan. You don't even know what he's running for. You don't know his name. Can you tell me any of his qualifications?
I was looking at Robert Craig on my screen. I apologize. That's why I stuttered.
It's okay.
Like I said, hey, I'm new to this. I'm trying to get better.
It's okay. It's okay. Can you tell me any of his qualifications? James Fishback?
Yeah, so he was a big so I believe it was 300 million to Israel. Correct me on that number if I'm wrong. He thinks we should take that money and then put it in a down payment.
Saying you agree with his positions is not a qualification.
Let me finish, please. He wants to take that $300 million, go to Israel, and put it into a down payment assistance program for new married couples, so it'd be easier to own a home in America, because we need to protect home ownership.
Okay, so what was his qualifications?
I don't know, because I don't live in Florida, but that is a reason why I am.
So stop mentioning people you don't know anything about, and saying you like these people. You're a big fan of this guy, but then I ask you name one of his qualifications, and you're like, I have no clue.
Yeah, you got me.
Okay, so would you like to maybe go back? Let's go back to why you support Trump, because it seems like any other conservative that you brought up, you don't necessarily know how to say anything good about them.
I mean, I would say that Charlie Kirk was the best option for 2028 presidency. I would say that. I know you're not a big fan of him. I am. But, I mean, I don't really have any – I don't know who else would run for president. I don't think Trump or J.D. Vance are the best option, to be honest. I don't.
Okay. So you think a conservative podcaster was the number one option for the Republicans in 2028?
In my opinion, he was the best option at the time of his life.
A conservative debate bro that debated on college campuses was the best option for president that the Republicans had.
He wasn't just a debater.
Yeah, he was.
Parker, he started the largest nonprofit youth program in America.
Centered around him debating.
Huh?
Centered around him debating.
Parker, he started that program before he started debating on college campuses.
Yeah, I understand, but the basis is that it's all centered around that, and it's also like that's how their voter rolls are funded. That's how they're existing in the college campuses.
How can you center a company around debating if you weren't even a debater at the time?
He was a debater. I think that's dishonest.
Sorry,
he did do debates. He just didn't do the tour thing yet.
Yes, he wasn't in the college campus then. Yes.
He
So
he
how
did
could it
do
be
college
centered
campus debates back then.
before? No, 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 no,
Yes, he
no.
actually did.
Was it 2012 he started Turning Point USA?
I'd have to go back and look, but he back then you can see clips of him debating.
He was not debating on college campuses before Turning Point USA was started. Yeah, 2012, June 5th, 2012.
Okay, and okay, well, okay. Regardless, what's your point with that? Do you think it's a qualification for being president?
I believe everything that he stood for and believed in was qualitable for me to vote for him as president if he was to run.
Okay, and like what positions? Like being against war, like the Iran war, for example.
I me and him have the same opinion, so yes, against Trump.
Him being in support of the state of Israel.
That
Him being a Zionist, right? Like
so
you'd want to vote for that?
his support in Israel was all religious based. Yes, I am religious, but I try to keep religion and politics separate as they should be, in my opinion. So when it comes, like,
Did you know that he said that he would stop talking about the Epstein files after Trump kind of like yelled at him about it? Said he would just trust his friends in the administration, and he'd stop pressuring them about the Epstein files.
Any potential Taylor had, and this is gone. This is embarrassing. I'm sorry. Who said that? Sorry, Cena. My bad. One more time, Parker. I'm sorry. Reading chat.
Okay.
I didn't hear what you said. Something about Epstein files.
Yeah, Charlie said that he was going to stop going after the administration for the Epstein files, and that he was going to trust his friends for how they were handling it.
And I'm kind of stuck on the whole Epstein file thing. No matter what happens, it's really hard to prove anything. I'm not saying Trump's guilty or innocent. I'm not saying either of them. I'm just saying it's really hard to prove what happened if anything did happen.
What? You don't think anything? You don't think Epstein was a pedophile?
Oh, I do, 100%. Obviously,
Okay.
we know what Epstein did. Yes. I'm talking about.
Do you believe the victims of Epstein that got settlements with the Epstein estate against, like, for their accusations against Epstein relating to sexual abuse and trafficking?
What was the question?
Do you believe the victims of Epstein that got settlements from the Epstein estate for their accusations against Epstein relating to sexual abuse and trafficking?
Do I believe what? I feel like
Do you
that's
believe the
rhetorical.
accusations of the survivors of Epstein that got
Are real?
settlements from the Epstein estate about their accusations relating to Epstein's conduct about sexual abuse and trafficking?
Do I believe they got settlements from Epstein for?
Do you believe the accusations of survivors of Epstein that got settlements from the Epstein estate about their accusations against Epstein for his conduct relating to sexual abuse and trafficking?
I don't know. I truly do not know.
You don't know if you believe the victims?
Well, that's not something someone would lie about, but I mean, people will lie for money.
You're saying you think that about the victims of Epstein that got settlements with the Epstein estate. So wait, so like I'm just gonna be honest. Do you hear how like people could hear that and they could be like, wow, I don't take this guy seriously at all. It seems like he just doesn't believe survivors any time. Even the survivors of literally an individual who's one of the most notable in history.
I do. But when it comes to Epstein, I don't know, and that's kind of a topic that I'm just kind of stuck on. I don't know really anything.
You don't know if he was guilty or if he did these things. You don't know if the allegations are true.
Of course he did. I'm talking about when it comes to
so
the
then
files.
Why don't you believe the victims who were literally children at the time they were?
I do. Yeah, I do believe them.
You do believe them?
Yeah.
Okay, so then do you believe Jane Doe 4, who implicated Trump by saying that Epstein trafficked her to Trump? She got a settlement with the Epstein estate for her accusations relating to Epstein's conduct about sexual abuse or trafficking. Do you believe her implication of Trump?
Yeah, I mean maybe.
Because, yeah. Okay, so then why do you still support him?
Like I said, I don't know. It's such a hard topic. So if Trump and Bill Clinton were to run against each other, who would you vote for?
There's more evidence against Trump than there is Bill Clinton.
That's not what I'm saying, though.
I would choose not to vote if there's true stuff about Bill Clinton that indicates that he has done these things.
So do you understand like why I voted or I would choose to vote for Trump at the beginning of this election compared to now?
To understand how you could vote for Trump now.
Before all this.
Before all this, could I understand? No.
Okay.
Because I mean, it's not just that. He also tried to undermine our democracy in 2020. He pardoned violent rioters. He beat police officers and called them patriots. He called for the of some Democrats because they said to follow the law and to not follow unlawful orders.
Do you believe the pardon of Hunter Biden was necessary and
It
reasonable
wasn't
and good?
necessary, and I wouldn't be the first person to sit there and argue for it, but if I were in the same position as Joe Biden, I probably would have done the same thing for my son.
So, and I'm completely against the pardoning law. I think that should get. I hate the pardon law. I think no matter who you are, what you're entitled to, if you did the crime,
I
you
don't
do
I
the
don't
crime.
fully disagree with pardons. I do think pardons have been abused though by Trump. And
Okay, so
Trump abusing the pardon power does make you want to say that you are fully against pardons.
yeah, and
But I think there have
I'm
been legitimate and good pardons that have existed, especially like under the Biden administration, where he was pardoning
you.
people with nonviolent criminal history of possession.
So, is there any Republican pardons that you agree with, or is it only the Democratic ones?
There are probably some I could point to on a list that would be
Okay,
ones I'd be like, okay, this is okay. But I mean, it seems like
so
most of the ones I see from Trump are horrible and disgusting.
yeah,
Like Donald Trump
so
pardoned the ex-president of Honduras who was convicted of trafficking over 400 tons of sea drug to our country.
okay, and like I said, I completely disagree with pardons. So, no matter what pardon you list to me, I'm gonna say it's wrong. I
Okay.
don't believe
Okay,
that we
but
should
like
pardon.
maybe you should look at the how bad the pardon is. Like he pardoned violent rioters who beat police officers and called them patriots.
And I told you where I stand on this. I think pardoning in whole is wrong. We have a set rule book of what you can and cannot do in America. And if you break that rule book, you go to prison or jail for that time.
Yeah, Trump didn't go to jail because you guys voted for him. He was convicted of 34 felonies and didn't go to jail because you voted for him.
Okay, so I'll talk about those felonies. He had sex with a porn star, correct, and paid her to hush up. Obviously, that was wrong, but I don't blame him for that. If
You
I
don't
was
blame him
running
for
for
cheating on his wife while she's pregnant?
that's not what I meant by that. Sorry. I mean, yeah, that's wrong. Adultery is awful, so I agree. What I'm saying is, when it comes to the 34 felonies, I'm stuck on that. I don't know. I'm just not educated enough yet, so I'm agreeing
He
with you on that.
falsified the business records with the explicit reason of hiding those hush money payments so that it wouldn't affect his election prospects.
Yeah, and I think he deserves to do the time for that.
Okay, but he didn't because you guys voted for him. So why did you vote for the convicted felon over the former prosecutor, former district attorney, former attorney general?
Um, the biggest two reasons were my first 2 points: immigration policy, gun law policy.
Said immigration and gun laws. Okay, so I think we went over immigration specifically on
Yes.
how, like, it doesn't seem like Trump's administration is addressing immigration in terms of actually going after people through the context of the usage of due process or trying to go after those that are a threat to the safety and security of our population. It seems like it's very clear that the Trump administration is going after individuals, even who are U.S. citizens, right, and are under legal status within this country. For example, Trump's administration tried to remove Mahmoud Khalil, who's under legal permanent residence, all right, within this country, for engaging in pro-Palestinian advocacy, which a federal court determined was in violation of his First Amendment rights.
Okay. Wrong.
What's up?
Wrong. I agree. Yeah, it's wrong.
Okay, so I mean, these would be.
What I'm gonna say.
Go ahead.
There isn't the way I was raised and what I believe in. I am more conservative than I am Republican. I wouldn't say I'm a Republican. I would say I'm a conservative.
Okay.
Trump was the more conservative option than Harris. Has he been doing a great job? No. And you can't predict that kind of stuff. No, I would like to see what I'd have to give a better reason, but like Tucker Carlson, for instance, voting for him. I don't know who's going to be our nominee for the next election, but we haven't had any very good options. We really haven't.
Yeah. So
We haven't had very many options that would protect my way of life and my beliefs.
your way of life.
Yeah.
What is that supposed to mean?
Start with gun laws. I believe we should have no restrictions on what type of guns I could buy, because what's going to start happening
Really?
is,
So fully automatic AK-47.
yeah, because what is our greatest defense against someone that can build that from their house?
I mean, I just don't think that people should be able to legally get AK-47s that are fully automatic. I don't think people should be able to get RPGs and loaded
I I
tanks and
I just yeah.
miniguns. Like, I don't think that should be commonplace. I don't want to live in a GTA 5 server.
That's a good point. What I'm saying though is that people are building those, Parker. People are building those with 3D printers,
Yeah,
and
I don't see those all around, and we should ban those
it's
and prevent that from happening too.
because we don't know what's happening. That's why they're called a ghost gun. Is that Parker? If you can go and buy a $3,000 3D printer and then spend another $2,000 on different parts and different equipment and build it from your home, and all this equipment is
Can't you
bought
go
for
after the equipment?
no, because 3D printers are because you don't because what is this equipment used for? Other things.
Well, yeah, but you understand that in this context, or when you get those specific things, we could have some sort of
So
flagging system for that. There could
yep.
also be, in terms of for 3D printers, there can also be a basis to have any type of regulation on that, where if people are found with that, we can see, or people have specifically registration, we need to ensure that
Yep.
people have that registered, and if it's not registered, there'd be an ability to figure that one out.
Then also
So there needs
buying
to be
any
regulations, and just because people can get it through illegal means does not mean we should just leave it up to the context of the system, because it's not like some sort of other process where
so
inevitably it's just going to happen either way. No, we can actually prevent the legal basis for it, right, by engaging in these particular regulation policies. Now, this doesn't mean no gun access, but it does mean that we want to prevent some guns from existing. I don't want to walk around and see a minigun. And even with the 3D printers, I'm not walking around and seeing miniguns.
yes. So drugs are illegal, and what's happening? They're still getting into the country illegally.
Okay,
They're
but you
coming
have
in.
you have to understand that I still want like the most harmful ones, things that literally like you cannot like even engage with specifically are obviously still going to have an illegal basis for distribution, right?
Yes. So
Um,
who's going to have those guns?
Wait,
Criminals.
I just want to clarify that still the basis for it is still different. Okay, do you
Okay.
understand? There's still a lack of comparison there because of the fact that one, people specifically use for themselves, and the other one
Mhm.
is specifically going to be a context of people harming others. So do you
Exactly.
understand the difference in impact?
For sure.
So what's your point?
My point is that this is guns are never going to be just magically gone, and the only way to regulate, the best way to regulate, in my opinion, is keep the guns in good people's hands and not leave them in bad people's hands. Very simple terms, though, I guess. If that makes sense.
Yeah. So okay. I don't know what you want me to say in response to that. I think we've already responded to this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know
I
either.
hope everyone who has a gun is not someone who's going to do something horrible with that. That's a basic
And
hope. But we know the reality of the world is that that's not how things operate. We
yes,
want to
the
prevent
world. The,
people who shouldn't have guns from having guns, and we want to prevent
yes,
people from having extremely powerful guns that right are not good for civilian usage. So
perfect. Yeah.
I do
So
not think there's a good argument for saying there should be fully automatic AK-47s at your random Walmart.
yeah,
Like
and
seriously.
I can respect the fact that you understand that we can't just ban guns at all, and a lot of Democrats can understand that we can't just ban guns. So I guess that doesn't apply to
Yeah,
you.
it's something called unconstitutional, which by the way your side doesn't care with abiding by, and is setting precedents for people to not care about the Constitution.
The conservative side does. Donald Trump doesn't, and
Okay. So
that is making me
okay,
upset.
can you tell me what aspects of the Republican side that you support that are outside of MAGA, that aren't MAGA?
From a Republican standpoint, no. From a conservative standpoint, yes. Because like I said, I definitely
So there's
more
nothing you can
conservative
point
than
to in the
Republican.
Republican Party that exists outside of MAGA that you
So what do
support?
you mean? Outside of MAGA, the Republican Party. Well, obviously, just there's general things: abortion, gun laws. Um,
No,
for one,
I'm asking
voter.
like
Hold up,
people.
vote. We can talk voter ID too. Do you believe in voter ID? Do you think we should have voter ID?
We already do to register to vote.
So in some states, you don't need to register to
The
vote.
argument that
In
we need
North
the Save
Dakota,
America Act
in
or whatever
in
is a
North
voter
in North
suppression bill.
in North Dakota, you don't need to register to vote. You can just go and vote. So
In
there's a
North
lot of
Dakota, you're saying you can just go and vote.
yeah,
So you think North Dakota, which is a red state, I'm pretty sure, you think the
yeah,
red
very red
state
state.
has a lack of voter ID laws?
No, I'm talking. I'm not saying every state. I'm not. North Dakota was one example. You don't need to register to vote.
You just gave an example of a red state to say that they didn't have good enough voter ID laws.
Yeah, because we don't have a ton of illegal immigrants here that are trying to vote without being an American citizen.
Okay, well,
We don't have that problem.
we
So
don't have
need
that
to
problem
change the law.
either.
In California, come
Yeah,
on.
we don't.
There was 3 million that voted for Harris that they let in.
Not true. Yeah, can you give me a source that 3 million undocumented immigrants voted for Harris in California?
Everyone in the chat's gonna call me a liar here, but I did have to leave my computer. There was people that came into the room, so I stepped out of the room.
Is there a way you can provide a source though, like by looking it up on your phone?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead.
3 million came into the country, yet they voted for Harris.
3 million voted for Harris in California.
Who do you think the illegal immigrants would vote for? The one that's for.
I don't think undocumented immigrants can vote, sir.
Yes, because in the states that don't need to register to vote, you can just go and vote. And
what states? Wait. So California, you need to register to vote. So you said that this issue was in California. You need to register to vote in California, and you need identification to register to vote. I live in California. I had to go through that process. So explain to me how the 3 million undocumented immigrants voted in California.
Give you one example. So personal connection. I know a guy that went to college down at Arizona State. He was against it, but he knew a group of people that would go to the border, set out care packages for illegal immigrants with addresses. So in that care package, there'd be food, water, supplies to help them cross the border and sneak in illegally. And then once they got into the country, help them get fake identification cards and passports. I don't have the proof because this is someone that it was a
so you
med
knew
student.
Someone trafficking people into the country?
No. He was against it, but he knew other ASU students that were doing this. He went to ASU to get his doctorate.
So he knew ASU students and then didn't hold them accountable for it?
He did. Yeah, he called the cops on them. He did.
He called the cops on them?
Yeah.
Okay, so then what are you complaining about? And also, this is in Arizona.
That's just proof that no. That's what I'm saying is that
how did Arizona vote in the last election?
Let me finish talking, Parker. Is that these people are helping them get fake identifications, passports, and IDs to vote blue.
Wait, you have no evidence that they were voting blue, and also that they voted red. You're being fearmongered. And in Arizona, do you need an ID to vote?
What are the odds they stayed in Arizona? I'm just saying that it is happening. That it is.
Okay, where did they go? Tell me, where did they go? What state?
How would I know, Parker?
In what state are these immigrants voting in?
How would I know where they moved, Parker?
Well, then you're the one claiming that you're the one who claimed 3 million undocumented immigrants voted for Harris in California.
What I'm saying is that it is possible to vote without being an American citizen, Parker. And
but there's only a few cases of that historically. And also you're not giving any state that this was applicable in. So you're not telling me what state you're able to do it in.
I'll give you a common sense question. If you are an illegal immigrant that breaks into the country, who would you rather vote for? The person that wants to kick you out or the person that's going to help you stay?
Dude, I just told you earlier, Democrats still want to deport undocumented immigrants. They just want to go after those that have committed violent and serious crimes to a greater extent, and they want to make the legal process go quicker. Okay, so that you're totally wrong with that, and also you're not considering the fact that again, when it comes to undocumented immigrants, right? You're just claiming things that are not true about them. Why would they risk being deported by trying to vote when there's no basis to do so? And again, you're not telling me in what state can they vote.
Well, I don't know exactly what all states have. You don't have to register to vote. I know North Dakota is one of them.
Any state in which they voted in.
North Dakota.
But it's red.
2 blue counties.
It's literally red.
We had 2 blue counties.
But it's red.
That mean it won red.
We had 2 blue counties. That doesn't change anything. The entire state is red.
Exactly. I'm just saying they still can vote, Parker. I don't know.
Those are not undocumented immigrants voting. Those are people who live in North Dakota.
How do you know?
How do I know? Because undocumented immigrants cannot vote. Didn't you just say that you don't have a problem of undocumented immigrants voting in North Dakota? You just said that.
Never said that. No.
Yes, you did. Play the clip back. I promise you, you're going to watch this on YouTube later. You're going to hear the clip playing back right now.
I don't know.
It just played back on the YouTube video. So the people on the YouTube video just watched it.
Okay, I have a problem with all illegal immigrants voting.
Okay, but you just said no. You just said it wasn't a problem, and North Dakota.
Saying it is still happening.
Okay, but you said the blue states were blue, or the blue aspects of the blue counties of North Dakota were blue because of undocumented immigrants. Come on.
I said it's possible. Never
What's
said
your
it's true.
evidence though? Don't you need evidence for
Said
that?
I said it's possible. I said that illegal immigrants can vote. It's that they can get fake identification cards to register to vote in any county, in anywhere.
Okay, so you say they get fake IDs, fake identification, and you're saying that this
I'm
identification.
saying it's 100%. I'm saying it's 100% possible to do.
Okay, so then you're saying it's possible to do, but then we would be able to go after that and prosecute it. Crimes are possible to commit, okay, but we still have laws against them.
And I don't. Okay, yeah, that's what we agree.
We already have the laws against them, so what's the point of this Safe America Act? Voter suppression.
Voter suppression.
Yeah, to prevent people from voting who can vote, rather than to actually prevent people who can vote, because that's not a problem.
Okay, if that's what you believe.
Yeah, that's what's true. That's why you guys can't
Alright.
get the votes.
Parker, hey, you're a strong debater. I'm still new to this. We had a good debate. I do have to head out though.
All right, appreciate you coming up.
Hey, kudos to you, man. Have a good one.